What do you do in the evening when you don't know what to do? Read a book, play a game, every night is just the same. What do you say if I tell you how to keep from feeling blue? My advice is good to take and it's easier to do. When you're all alone, any old night, and you're feeling out of tune, pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, you'll be feeling better soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Look, look, look at the stars above. Look, look, look at those sweeties love. Oh boy, give me a night in June. I mean it, all you got to do any old night when you're feeling out of tune. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. When you make a date any old night, gonna meet your sweetie soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, that's the only place to spoon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Walk, walk, kissing and walk again, talk, talk, kissing and talk again, oh joy, sweethearts are all in tune. I mean it, when it's raining out, stay in a room, but on a lovely night in June, here's what to do, sweetie, and you just get out and get under the moon. If you're with a girl and she is cold, says she doesn't want her spoon, don't you feel blue? Here's what you do, just get out and get under the moon. If you feel a kiss and she gets sore, she'll forget it mighty soon. Don't stop to fret, she'll learn to pet when you get her under the moon. Indoors, there's not a thing to do. In-laws walk in and out on you. Oh boy, sister and brother too. I've tried it, just take my advice. If she is nice, nice as any night in June, just take her hand, she'll understand, and get out and get under the moon. Oh, dee, oh, lay, oh, you lay, oh, you lay, oh. What do you do in the evening when you don't know what to do?
Ladies and gentlemen, madam and mademoiselles, we're on the road to nowhere tonight. How you doing? It is Hunters Anonymous live on Wednesday, and say hello, James.
Hello, James. What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody, and everybody that said hello. Howdy, 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 howdy. Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing?
How's the Wednesday going for everyone?
How is Pandemic Wednesday going for everybody?
I see Mark's not getting called out.
Well, aw. But yeah, hello to everybody, and that does mean everybody. So, thank you for stopping by. This is the Dead End Road edition of Wednesday Night Hunters Anonymous.
And Keith is pink again, so that's exciting.
Keith is once again pink. Oh, hey, Brian. There you go. You need to say hi, Brian. Well, hi, Brian. Oh,
hi, Brian.
Lee. Hey, Lee. Hey, Lee. 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 Don't ride electric scooters in the rain.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice.
Yeah, don't do that. Thanks. I hope you're feeling all right. I'm pretty sure a lot of people told you you're not supposed to be watching a screen, but that's okay because you don't listen to anybody anyway. But I do hope you're all right. Um, and I don't know if you had it checked out yet or what, but do please, if you do, Lee hurt herself, but she's here, so she had 300 feet of hair to protect her other side of her skull.
She said no. Yeah, no shit. I think she was. I don't know if she was referring to you're not supposed to be looking at the phone or that she doesn't listen.
It's all the above. Don't be on a scooter in the rain. Don't be on the phone. Don't flip off electric scooter. But we're glad you're all right.
Don't be on
Yeah,
the electric fence.
don't be on the electric fence. Um, what's the question, Brian? So the big news of the day is Halloween Horror Nights is still not happening. Y'all go to hell. Y'all go to hell. Ain't happening. I'm kidding. So the only thing we're James, we haven't heard anything about Hollow Scream yet, have we?
No, but you know what? I can't see it being a thing anyway because I don't. Williamsburg has been pushed back like 4 or 5 times from opening. So I can almost be 100% certain in saying it's not going to happen in Williamsburg. I'm not sure if they are even. Lee's got to go now because you brought it up.
Brought it up. Crybaby.
You're hurting Mark's feelings too.
Well, hey, what do you mean? I said, hey, everybody.
No, about the Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, Mark, you're just gonna whiten. Oh, that's why Lee's leaving too.
Yeah.
I get it. She doesn't care if she cracked her damn skull open. It's the Halloween Horror Nights thing. Okay.
But yeah,
Lee,
Williamsburg.
Hey, Lee, hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
James.
go ahead before she leaves.
Driving. Well, she's not leaving. Driving to MD House to Shank. You know what? You get your happy ass back on that electric scooter. See if you make it. Anyway, sorry, James. Go ahead.
Yeah, Williamsburg. I don't even believe they're open yet. They keep getting pushed back because the governor of Virginia is like, you can't have more than 2,000 people or something, and that's including workers. And they're like, well, it's such a big park. They're like, well, it's not even like financially feasible to bring people in to work for that few people. So they just keep pushing it back. I'm actually gonna go check right now and see if they are open.
Yeah, I don't think yeah, Howl Scream in Orlando is not going to happen. I mean, I hate that. I'm kind of surprised they haven't announced it yet, but maybe, especially with Universal and Mickey's Not So Scary. But it's, that's the trifecta of theme park haunts in that area. So, I can't imagine. I can't imagine them being open. Excuse me, everybody. My bad. And that will lead us into one of the big conversations of the evening. And all of y'all, as always, need to participate because we do want to hear y'all's opinions on this. But also, Lee once again has summoned a hurricane to Florida. It's always Lee's fault when a tropical storm or a hurricane comes to Florida. So everybody wag your finger at Lee. And then, of course, apparently.
But Keith, before we get into this, we gotta address Keith too. So I didn't want to forget it, so I was interjecting real quick.
Oh, that's fine. No, I'm just waiting for Lee to walk herself to my house, since she shouldn't be driving and beat my ass. You talking about Spooky Empire? Was that one,
yeah, yep.
Didn't they cancel?
They did till next year.
Yes, Keith Spooky Empire canceled. They announced it a few weeks ago, I believe. So yeah, honestly, the only one so far that I know happened, and I don't know really how well it went, was Dag Nabbit. the one in Texas. Now I can't remember what it was. It just happened last weekend. It was a small, I guess, a small vendor convention, but no, everything is canceling. Um, uh, uh, I mean, everything's canceling. And of course, like I said, the trifecta in Central Florida, which is Disney, Universal, and then Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens, they will cancel.
Yeah,
Um,
they're not even open in Williamsburg. I just checked. They're closed
uh,
at least to the foreseeable future.
it is Busch Gardens here open?
Yeah,
In I'm sorry, in Central Florida.
yeah.
I, I know we've probably talked about it 300 times. Yes, Texas Honors Convention. Thanks, Keith. I literally don't know. Not out of meanness, I could not remember the name of it. And of course, it was the most simplest thing ever. Um, Honor Convention in Texas, Texas Honor Convention. But yeah, Hollow Screen won't open. Do we, James? Is there any other news besides? Oh, I will say this much, just out of. Oh, Brian's finally getting his question out. Uh, but yeah, for real, there's a hurricane, probably hurricane, tropical storm that's going to be probably going straight up the Florida Peninsula. It may come in the Gulf, so um, we'll keep everybody advised. I mean, that there's a couple of us that live in Florida. Danny is probably the closest so far to it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Danny. All right, so uh, oh, and it's going to stop the COVID testing for a few days, but nobody cares about that. I mean, I do, but
Yeah, well, Florida will
so
stop setting records. So there you go for a couple days.
for a few days. So Brian says, so I live in an apartment complex, not best area, probably 60% poverty. Kids will get plenty of candy regardless. Thinking of making a care package to hand out or provide during trick or treating. Juice boxes, little toys, cheese sticks, oranges, etc. Wanted to give something different because they might need actual nutrition. Thoughts and ideas. Um, uh, yeah, actually, Brian. Of course, these days you never give out anything you make, which back in the day, 3,000 people in every block would do that because that was great. The
Popcorn
cupcakes or whatever,
balls.
popcorn balls. But as far as something that's nutritious, that is prepackaged, um, that's actually good and kids can eat it would be like actual like nutrition type bars, like Cliff bars, you name it. Um, uh, uh, you can typically get coupons for them. They're expensive ish, but I would say like nutrition bars. Anything that uh, uh, and this is gonna sound weird because you wouldn't want to give a kid like a thing of Ensure, but if like the older population, seniors and stuff, anything that they would be given that anybody else could eat. I mean, you don't want to give out like protein bars, but um, I would say things like that, like literally like nutrition bars. They actually make some that are for kids. Um, that's what I would do, and definitely look for coupons and stuff like that. And if I know that you're going to be doing that, hell, I'll do a super mega search for them and send them your way. James, what do you think?
I agree with the protein bars. It's first of all, that's super awesome of you to think about people like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing, and serious props on that. Um, but yeah, I would say if you're going nutrition wise, I would totally go with like a protein bar or something. Plus, some of those don't taste that bad. Um, but yeah, that's awesome, man. I would definitely go the protein bar route. I believe.
yeah. And Brian, you were talking about little toys and stuff like that. Um, if you think that kids would and the parents would benefit from like uh, little things of toothpaste, unopened toothpaste, and things like toiletries. And that sounds weird, but in this climate of the pandemic, people are kind of they are kind of hurting for money, and there might be just basic necessities. Um, But I would say something that would be easy to hand out, and to a child, for a kid, something they can eat, they always appreciate. But I would say
Or the
like a
cheese
nutrition
stick,
bar.
those string cheese.
It's true, and I'd eat the hell out of cheese sticks. My only thing with giving out perishables for trick or treat is they're perishables. You
Yeah.
don't know how much longer the kid's going to be out. That's my only thing with that.
See, I like them
Um,
morely warm because it. I don't know. It just makes them better.
Now, as an adult, yes, that's um, but yeah, but you don't know, and yeah. Oh, if somebody gave me string cheese, that thing would be like, you don't even have to put that in my basket, just put it in my mouth. I'd be walking down the street. Oh, but like I would, beef jerky, little miniature beef jerkies. There's a lot of protein in those. You can get those pretty inexpensive. You can go to Costco. I mean, I would definitely hit up like Costco, or here we have Sam's Club, or any of the warehouse type places. Um, but that's what I would do, Brian. And like James said, that's exceptionally awesome of you, because you're an awesome guy in general. Um, uh, for doing that, and that's a fantastic idea. Hell, I'll probably do that now too at my house. Not the string cheese, 'cause I'll eat all that, but everything else. Just kidding. Um, yeah, Brian. I definitely keep those cold. I guess the thing is, like I said, with perishables, you just don't know how long they're going to be and how much longer they're going to be walking around. Um, that's just me.
And if like if there's something you want to give out, um, message the company and let them know what you're intending to do, and they probably will send you a coupon for something.
Oh yeah. Um, uh, that might James. That might be something that we can do in general, just to see what we can do, like you did with the other stuff.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, for
idea.
sure.
Um,
We'll reach out to some people and let you know if we get anything back from them.
oh my God, Nick, where the hell do you live? Because if somebody gave me a burger and hot dogs in my trick or treat, I'd be like, I'm not leaving.
Oh, I was just saying, what? So one year we actually went up to visit family in Connecticut, and obviously from Florida it's a little different. And up there, it's cold, so everybody's usually like outside with a fire and everything. And there was a house that had like hot dogs and apples, like warm apple cider. And I remember everybody up there gave out apple cider. It was ridiculous. Like you could just go to any house and like, here, warm apple cider, take this.
And see, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just unfortunately in this era, you just don't.
Yeah, not
The good
now.
intention. Well, yeah, the good intention of one person, like, oh, I made cookies for everybody. And the parents are like, don't eat that stuff. So it has to be prepackaged. It's just, I don't know. Excuse me again. Party at MD's. Yay! Yes, MDHN or DHN. Um. Uh. Of course. That's a fantastic idea, Brian. We're gonna definitely put that on the list.
Hey, Jim.
Look into more of that. Hey, Jim. Um. But that's hopefully, Brian, that helped a bit. You know what? James and I will work on some ideas to maybe help you out with that. So you can find some places that can maybe at least donate some coupons or something. So I drink apple cider.
See?
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, with a lot of cinnamon in it. Little Debbie's are awfully good, and they can be nutritional if eaten in minor quantities.
You get the one with peanut butter, 65% sugar, but it's still peanut butter.
It's 300,000% diabetes. So, yeah, and anybody that has questions like that, of course, Brian, we've already said, is phenomenal with questions. So is Mark, everybody else is great. Oh, and before I forget, and then I guess we can kind of edge ourselves into the hot topic of the evening, so everybody can laugh at it. Don't forget Friday night, per Brian's request, we are having trivia night, Halloween horror and haunts. Oh my. James is going to get right on that. It should be a lot of fun. So, yes, you eat the treats.
We should have like 7 questions. So.
Yeah. One question from each category. And the end of the night will be 5 minutes. But yeah, and it won't be the only time we do it. But yeah, so we'll have Friday night will be trivia night. So that should be fun. Let everybody know. James, is there any other news before we get into the hoot topic of the evening?
I'm gonna say no. It's been
not like we can't.
Yeah, we can always go back, but if I remember anything, but yeah. I mean, it's just been one sad news thing after another, really, as far as places announcing. But I mean, we post all those that we get, so
yeah, yeah. So that's I think that yeah. Fortunately, right now, as far as what we are seeing, in fact, things are slowed down as far as the closures, but that will begin to ramp up. Unfortunately, unfortunately, of course, there are some that are going to open, and they're doing their best to open safely. I will say that we are going to start calling out haunts that say silly things like COVID safe and all that stuff, because that's insane.
Mark,
God, man,
jumping the gun.
What do you got to do? Go fix the small world or something? We'll get there.
Hey guys, also like and share the stream real quick if you don't mind. Only time we're gonna say it.
Smirch Gertie, all that bit. So anyway, so I guess we'll get into it. And James and I are going to definitely tag team this. But speaking of haunts that are opening in Central Florida or think they're going to be opening, how many of all of y'all here have heard of the Haunted Road that's going to try to open up in Orlando? Everybody raise your hands.
Everyone, literally everyone in here should be raising your hand right now because it's every freaking where.
If you haven't, the quick synopsis is I don't know, Japan, China, somebody somewhere was talking about overseas doing a haunted drive-through where you get in your car and you drive around to the monsters, and it's blah, blah. Oh, Mark's home.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Well, maybe because it's a storm coming. Maybe he quit. So
maybe he quit.
I can't remember where the hell the idea came from. So just to let you know, it's not an original idea. So magically, like overnight, the sensational story of a drive-through haunted attraction percolated throughout the planet, literally, about being able to stay in your car and drive around and be scared as you drove around, to keep yourself safe, to keep everybody away from you and you away from everybody else. And it literally spread like wildfire across the planet within hours. News stations had it. Folks in the UK were already putting it on their Facebook. And that's cool and all. And I'll, like I said, James, you just have to shut me up, and I just interject. But I just want everybody to know that it's very easy to take a press release and shoot it to all these places. And I think that's actually what happened. I think it spread so fast because these people did pretty much a press release.
Yeah.
And then it was picked up across the board. So it's not like it was like all, magic-y or whatever. But so yeah, it's called The Haunted Road. It's on Facebook. It's thehauntedroad.com. And like Mark said, it's, the idea is taking a 2-ton vehicle or more and going around having the bejesus scared out of you in what they think is going to be a controlled manner. And no, it's a terrible idea. So I'm going to let James talk about it some, so I just shut up for a minute.
Yeah, so this thing was like it was like flash paper yesterday because it showed up. Somebody posted it to us. Um, just blew up. I mean, it was everywhere, and I know the reason because obviously like Mike said they shared it to a bunch of media outlets and everything, but they also made the genius move of sharing it with the recently hurt Halloween Horror Nights die-hard fan base who right now are looking for anything to latch onto. Um, and so they're like, "Oh, this is in Orlando. This is us. This is our new Halloween Horror Nights for this year because there's nothing." So they post this thing. Their website originally stated they were going to release a Kickstarter to fund this. A Kickstarter to fund a haunted drive-through at the end of July. The end of July, mind you. They're gonna start a Kickstarter. It's not even like they hadn't even activated the thing yet. So we can go through a list of like 4,000 reasons as to why this is an absolute horrible idea. On paper, it's a beautiful idea. It sounds super fun until you realize anytime you've ever been in a haunt, what happens when there's somebody behind you that's scared? What do? They immediately run directly into your back. Now you imagine that person driving a vehicle that weighs 2,000 pounds behind you. What's going to happen when they get scared? They're going to drive directly into your back. So, I love the idea of it. I've said it on here like a couple months ago. I was like, why don't we do drive-through stuff? And then, idea-wise, it's great. There's zero practicality in it, especially a rushed one. Like, what? I don't know. There's no way that I can imagine it's gonna be safe. I just can't.
I was laughing at Brian's comment. He said bird box it. Well, yeah, and nobody can drive Mark's car. And the insurance on this, because you have to have insurance if you're going to do a professional haunt. You have to. Would be through the roof if they can get it. And then, of course, my thing is, if something happened and you were driving through and something happened to your car, let's say you ran into a telephone pole or something in the middle of their haunt or whatever, and you try to do a claim, you're using your car for a purpose that it wasn't intended for. You're literally using your card as an amusement ride, and I'd be willing to bet you that there's no insurance carrier that would pay on a claim. They'd basically be like, "What were you doing?" And you're like, "Well, I was driving through a haunted attraction, and things got wily, and I ran into something." And they're going to be like, "Well, no, we don't cover, ramming into a vaping clown. We don't cover that. It's not in your damn policy." But
the vaping clown chat.
So there's no clause for that. So they probably wouldn't honor it.
And Brian even just said Florida. I forgot about that. Florida's a no-fault state, so somebody rear ends you, it's still your fault.
Oh, so yeah. So like James said, it's on paper, or in theory, it's cute. On paper, there's no way. There's no waiver on this planet that I would sign that would strip this haunted road or anything like it of any responsibilities. There's no way. I mean, people, like say, they jump and they jerk around enough when you're walking through a haunt, whether it's indoor or outdoor, bumping into each other, everything else. I mean, put somebody behind a driver's wheel, like say, have a 2 or 3 ton vehicle, and have them tap the gas because they got freaked out. Someone's going to get immensely hurt. I personally don't. There's a couple of scenarios. One, it literally they don't have the money to do it, and it doesn't happen. Two, they don't have enough time to do it. It doesn't happen. Three, they do it, and it's 100% safe, but it sucks so bad because they didn't have time to put. And that scenario is not going to happen. But or they open up and on the first or second night somebody gets killed, and then you're talking about a major lawsuit. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
And you know what that does? It brings bad publicity to haunted houses and attractions. So it's not just it's not just like they're gonna screw themselves. They're gonna bring a bad light to the haunted industry overall. And then everybody in the haunted industry is like we had nothing to do with these people. We did not agree with it from the start.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is if you give yourself enough time, a year, maybe two or something, to really, really hone down the logistics of it, where you really have time to think about, okay, it could be done if we really, 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 really think about it. Safeguards, lighting systems, whatever. But you're talking about a year or two of planning for something like this. It's one thing that if you have a conga line and somebody my size gets all freaked out and backs up and knocks some smaller person down behind me, and that's a bit different than literally if somebody in a freaking 4x4 jacked up truck decides to throw it in reverse because there's a clown coming after him. That will kill somebody. It's one thing if I were walking through, let's just say anybody. If you're walking through and you get freaked out and you punch an actor, okay, well, that's bad, and you can go to jail for it. But more than likely, all you did was punch him and give him a black eye. It's not like you're taking a vehicle and getting scared and running them over and killing them or maiming them or breaking their spine. The whole thing is insane. Hey, 13, by the way. I see you in here. Didn't mean to not say hello, but
and it's not like we want to excuse the French here, but it's not like we're just trying to shit on this idea or the people doing it, because it's not what it is. It's a matter of safety and preparation. Their Facebook page was made on July 19th of this year. To me, if you're gonna do something, so just to play devil's advocate and be like, all right, well, maybe they've been planning this for 2 years. If you're doing that, why would you not already have a website and a presence online promoting this? This was a spur of the moment idea within the last 3 weeks, at most 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's pushing it. I want to address Reginald's question real quick. I wonder if the permits would be the same like for Lion Country Safari that drive through. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. When it comes to haunted attractions, most people would be amazed at the differences in permitting and safety and all that kind of stuff. It kind of goes back to the Rager we had on Friday. And this we believe is the same thing. They're rushing something to be the first one to quote unquote do it. Jessica, bye.
Bye, Jessica.
Everything's okay.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, hope everything's all right. Yeah, the liability, like Brian said, it would be off. I just don't think that they're going to be able to get permitted for this. I just don't think. And the concern I have with that is, it's not really a concern, honestly, is they just kind of think they're going to skirt by without permits. The one thing that they did that was very, very, very bad was to put this idea out across the planet. I can't find a business license for it. I'm pretty sure I would not be able to find permits for it. They're not telling anybody where it's at. They're not telling anybody what the deal is. They're not telling anybody any details of it. And like James said, they had a Kickstarter up that's now gone. It is extremely shady. It's extremely haphazard. But like James said, we're not really here bashing it. This is logistics. This is just talking and getting input from all of you, and it's news from us.
I
And then
Brian
go
just
ahead.
brought up a brilliant point that I did not even think of. People drinking before they go. So then you got
Oh yeah,
people that are
no,
drinking through the haunt while in the vehicle.
oh yeah, no, I thought we did talk about that
Maybe it
because
escaped me for right now. I don't know. I don't recall it, but like
it,
that's yeah. You know how people love to drink and haunt. And while you're walking around, fine, whatever. That itself leads to some issues. Now you're adding a vehicle. So again, it's one more huge just this is red light flashing here.
yes, and it's not just drinking; it can be anything that would impair somebody. They might be on painkillers because they hurt their backs or whatever. Mark, he who should not be named, got permitting, but it was for haunted attraction. They he didn't have to have he didn't have to have special permitting to have a torture house.
Yeah. And he also got run
That's
out of literally everywhere. He's gone
yeah,
after like 1
yeah,
year.
yeah. And I mean, there's people that have they're severely mentally cracked out by it. Yeah, his permitting was just the same permit that a haunted attraction, a home haunt would have or whatever. I mean, he always ran this from a house in a basement, you know. Um, it's not like you go to your city council and say, I'd like to run a torture house, um, on so and so block. I need a permit for a torture house. So it's but like James said, he's been run out of every place. Uh, this is a little bit different because this is quite a bit different. I mean, they're gonna have to submit some sort of plan. Um, moto surfing.
Yeah,
Uh,
Teen Wolf it.
yeah, I think see the thing with the buses and the minivans and stuff, it goes back. You're putting a bunch of people in confined space, and it's going against what these people are trying to do, which is keep you in your car to keep you safe and their people safe. But it's going to turn into demolition derby.
I mean, if you like, this was we talked about this. If you had the money and you absolutely wanted to do something where it's not a hayride, find one of those old trolleys, like kind of like the train that Disney World has, how it's set up with the bench seating across and everything, and you just in between each row is plexiglass, so there's no way for anybody to be near you, and each family gets a row or whoever came in a vehicle. It's not going to be conducive to a large number of people, but it's safer than letting everybody drive your own vehicle. And I'm sure it would cost an absolute butt ton to even have one of those things converted.
Oh yeah. Mark said it would literally be cheaper and easier just to build a spooky Omni mover.
Yeah, just
Well,
rent a bunch of electric wheelchairs.
I'm gonna have to go get that web address now. Um,
Haunted Omni mover.
spooky Omni mover, so that when people say the web address 3 times too fast, it summons the devil. Oh my God, Nick, we talked about that. Apparently, he who should not be named was invited to consult for haunt in the UK.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about recently or a few years ago? Because that happened a few years ago. It was a disaster, and it has since tamed itself a bit down because it got quite a bit of bad publicity as well. A van with a roof cut off. Okay. What if you were epileptic? Well, yeah, I'm that exactly. I mean, a proper haunt will have all kinds of conditions that you can't go through: heart conditions, epilepsy, seizures, and I mean, are these people going to try to strobe people in the face while they're driving through this thing? It's so nonsensical. If you said, all right, like today, we're going to start planning all the logistics for this out, to try and do it in a year or two, and really you would start this like on a January, and then start the build like in the following January, February, March.
Dude, I'm not
Nick,
gonna lie,
oh,
that is a brilliant move, Keith. I I want that to happen. I want that to be a thing. I want to go to a haunt that has giant hamster balls for you to run through the haunt in. Because they
I would.
sell those things fairly cheaply now. So you could disinfect it every time. I want to do it. That would be fun. You can't see crap out of them, though. I think that'd be your biggest issue, but it'd be fun as
Yeah,
hell.
you'd still, and as long as there was like, I could see that, and then put like bumper stanchions up, so that make it where they can't roll beyond the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Make them
Yeah.
where the actors can get through them, but if they start rolling beyond the path, that it just bounces them back off.
And then if you roll
Um,
somebody over, you're not killing them. It's it's a minor inconvenience, but
barely noticeable. Am I? Yeah. Nick, to go back with Nick said he just recently found out about it, so not sure. Yes. He who not should not be named. A couple of years ago. This happened a few years ago. I know more about it than I probably should, so I'm not going to really say much here. I'm also not going to name the haunt in the UK. It's actually a fairly good sized one. But yeah, they decided they wanted to get into the foray of a torture haunt, and I'll just say it didn't go as well as they planned, and so they've tamed it down quite a bit. They've even renamed it. So, but I'll leave that at that. But it did happen a few years ago. It's not recent. Brian would call it Uber. Can you imagine getting Uber on? Excuse me, Mr. Forsberg, what are we doing? Just go in that entrance sign right there. Just go.
just keep looping through, please.
Yeah, here's an extra $500. Just have a blast. Don't kill anybody. But so what do y'all? I mean, we are definitely getting your opinions on it. And I think of them more as not opinions, but actual truth and logistics. What in general, do y'all think this is a good idea? Is this something?
Would you do it?
Is this something? Yeah, and when we ask the question, would you do it? Don't think along the lines of I'm a responsible adult who doesn't get scared, who would follow the rules of the miles per hour and blah blah blah. Think about everybody else. Would you do it knowing that somebody may go 30 miles an hour and plow into you, sideswipe you?
Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
get people to wear their masks in a store. Do you think you're going to get people to drive appropriately through a haunt where there's things chasing them? I don't think so.
Brian. Okay, so Brian would do it. He said a cool idea won't happen, which we all Um, we all know you would, Mark, but you would literally go find like a $200 junk car. So you wouldn't have to bring your really nice cars, and then you literally would be like, well, it's demolition derby time, so let's go. The haunted car wash, that is very cool. I would definitely do that. If I had one here in my town during Halloween, I would do it.
Okay.
Haunted dude.
So let's rephrase it and say, would you do it knowing the safety of yourself, your passengers, and your vehicle is on the line?
There you go. And your insurance probably would not pay for anything.
So
if
this
something
would
got
be
damaged.
out of pocket plus medical.
Welcome to the haunted road.
Where it's literally haunted because 7 people have died here.
Like 5 minutes ago. Maybe have hired drivers. Well, see, Brian, that's the thing, is that would require so much planning as well. Have hired drivers to drive your car, but there again, you are putting an employee inside a car with your customers, and it goes against what they're trying to do, which is keep everybody away from everybody else.
Ram me again, Karen.
Ram me again. That's right. And yeah, see, Keith, totally. Because we actually have talked we talked about so many points about this. Yeah, what if it broke down? What if literally it broke down and then something happened, it caught on fire? And I guarantee you, they don't have any contingency plan to have a wrecker be able to come in at different points of the haunt. I guarantee you, they don't. Um, yeah, a broken down car, we all know, could be on a bridge holding up traffic for hours. Think about in a haunt. Um, what if somebody was in a car in the middle of the conga line of cars and had a medical emergency? What if they came in with a bad heart or something? I mean, how are ambulances going to get in there? How are medical teams going to get in there? How do you get people to get out of the way so that the person who's having a medical emergency can get out? It literally does not work. There's no way to do it. When you have an outdoor a haunted attraction, a walkthrough, a hayride, or an indoor, if they're doing it right, there are exits all over the place for just such emergencies. There's ways that you can get a team in there to help. There's ways that you can have people get the person out. That happened on a few occasions with one that I ran. Um, we had it was a 2-acre property, and if somebody was all the way in the back, which happened, they were all the way in the back of this property, um, and they had not a life or death emergency, but it was pretty bad. Uh, I built a walkthrough that you didn't have to go through the maze. You just literally just beelined it from the front to the back, and you can't do that with a car. There's just no way. Um, well, Reginald, yeah. Let's see. I go if it wasn't me driving, like they had a private car for each group. Once that group leaves, they sanitize the car. Sure, I mean that's what Hertz is doing,
Yeah,
or other car rentals.
at that point, it's a hayless hayride, though. Like
Yes,
that's where that's the realm you've entered, and that's nothing new.
and I will let you know without going into specifics. The cost on doing that would be just enormous because now you're having to either rent cars or buy cars because the rental company is not going to let you use their cars, as a theme park ride. um, you have to have an individual insurance. You have to have once again, it sounds good in theory, but when it goes on paper, it literally is a nightmare. Danny. Um, I'm just trying to read through because I sat there and yapped for so long, and as usual, y'all are doing an awesome job.
It's hard to keep up with just doing the likes and the reactions. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Danny says, "I am the picture of optimism." It's well, it's logistics.
Yep.
Um, it's it's basically uh, putting out into audio on a live chat with all of you fantastic, awesome people. What everybody else who is loving the idea on their Facebook page has not thought of. The people that are like I said, oohing and awing because they can't go to HHN now, or
Yeah.
Mickey's Not So Scary, or Hollow Scream back in the.
And we love a lot of stuff. It's like we share a lot of things that are good, and we compliment anybody that deserves it. There's 100% props, when they're due. When something's unsafe and like could literally cast a giant shadow on an industry that's already been torn up, it kind of needs to be said. Like a voice of reason needs to be spoken.
Yep.
What's up, Moto?
Hey, Moto. Lunchbox. Um, if these people had said, "Hey, everybody, listen, this great idea was going across the board. We think we need to do it here. We'd like to try and be the first ones to try it out in Orlando. It's called the Haunted Road. But we are going to work out as many of the semantics for the following, the next coming year, and have something awesome and new for next year. if we deem it's possible whatsoever, and then give everybody the ideas and all that stuff and what they're going to do, I'd have been like, oh, holy hell! Well, hell yeah, we'll monitor this for the year and see what they do, and maybe they'll get backers or not backers, but investors. I don't personally think that you'd have a Kickstarter for something you're going to be charging damn people to do anyway. That is, I mean, there's some things like I know Kickstarter for like devices and 3D printers, but this was just not. Thank you, Moto. Moto says terrible idea.
Yep.
I knew the hell you wouldn't do it. I knew you wouldn't do it. And hell, you got the room to do it. I mean, literally. But even then, though, I'd give them props for saying we're going to take the year and figure this out. But I would still say the semantics and logistics of it would literally be a nightmare. The insurance would be a nightmare. It would just be a freaking nightmare.
Someone pees and gets scared. Damn.
Right. Oh my God, I'd pay extra money just to watch somebody pee in a hamster ball.
And then clean that out. Nope.
I know Moto would pay double what I would pay to see it. He'd pay triple just to actually make it happen.
They get halfway through and throw up. Just sloshes around the damn hamster ball the rest of the way.
Yeah. Lord. So that's that was yeah, Brian, it won't be approved. You're right. It won't. It's not. It's just not going to happen. There are people. There's city planners. There's city council. There's plenty of people in the government area that they are going to have to talk to if they're smart, who are going to sit back and think, okay, this is new. Let's think about this, that, and the other. And they're going to be like, no. And they'll actually talk to them. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's true. Ooh, you know what? The fire marshal, even though this is outdoor and uncovered, because it's vehicles, fire marshal would have to be involved. Oh my God, the fire marshal will never let this. Nah, fire marshal will be the one that kills it. Yes, Moto, we know you yourself would pee in the hamster ball and put a customer in it.
Before every 300th customer.
That's probably something I would do too, sadly. Yep, MDHN. So, yeah, so there you go. Because you're going to have combustible, I mean, literally, you're bringing in
a bomb.
A bomb.
That's what an engine is.
Fire marshal is going to kill it. And I bet you what happens is they've already started trying to do this, that, and the other. They haven't got any permits. They haven't got any licensing. They haven't talked to anybody. And because they've spread the word all over the damn planet, they're going to have some people walking to this place or forcing them to tell them where it's at. There is something interesting. There's James, I don't know if you saw this, but on the website, there's a video. Did you see the background video of the car that's driving through?
Yeah.
With the headlight? I think that's theirs. Which made me even laugh more because I'm like, all right, so you got all these twists and turns and you got these little railings that to tell people that are supposed to walk this path to not go in the woods. So this is going to be in the woods somewhere. They're going to catch the woods on fire.
Gas combining with air in a cylinder is a controlled explosion, Mark. Shut the hell up.
Now look, Mark. It's called an internal combustion engine, not an air compressor with wheels. God.
Jeez, Mark, you're a car guy. Come on.
Yeah, good Lord. Maybe that's how the mermaid works, but oh my God, Mark, you crazy man. Okay, you already ha-ha'd it. Okay. So anyway, yeah, fire marshal's going to be involved, or they're not going to involve fire marshal. Fire marshal's going to walk in and he's going to shut the whole thing down. Yep. You know what? It's funny. I thought about that while I was saying it.
Hey, Tyler.
What's up, Tyler? We just missed the whole big conversation, Tyler. You have to listen to this on YouTube or the podcast in 300 years when I get a Prius. Well, hey,
Electric cars?
Now, electric car. Okay. Now here's the deal. The deal with that. I am 1000% electric car person. I would love to have like, now I wouldn't have a Prius because that's a hybrid, but, um, a Tesla. But let me give you the other condition of a Prius. Now I don't think Prius is this. I'm probably talking on my ass on this, but the battery packs in those things. What happens if you have an all electric vehicle go through? Talk about a gas fire. Holy crap! Lithium ion, lithium polymer that you can't put them out. Fire marshal would trust me. The fire. I tell you what. They're never gonna say this, but they're gonna be shut down. And I guarantee you, more than likely, it's a fire marshal.
And this has been shared by like 4 major Orlando news outlets already, by the way.
Wait a minute, Moto, you have a Prius?
That makes so much sense. It makes sense.
What, the clown has a small car?
Yeah, that's exactly the epitome of like.
Oh my god. Yes, Prius batteries can become a bomb. Yeah, sorry, James. Keep going with the shared by the bazillion of whatnots.
Oh yeah, no, it was shared by like all the major news outlets in Orlando already. Is like they made it completely seem like it's a done deal. So I'm curious to see where this goes now.
Now, yeah, that is going to be their downfall. Like I said before, Nick said haunted Segway path, which honestly, you might as well just have a walking path, because the Segways do nothing to segregate, and people get hurt on Segways too. Plus, on a Segway, your path would have to be smoother than glass, or somebody will hit a pothole and sue you.
Hey Tara, by the way, sorry, missed that.
Hey Tara
and Gabriella.
By the way, Moto, if you didn't see it, Tyler will see you Saturday. Be sure to everybody wear your masks. Fred Flintstones would probably be less dangerous than a car, believe it or not.
Tyler, why are we talking about car bombs? The haunt in Central Florida is claiming they're going to be a drive-through haunt this year, and we were discussing the absolute insanity behind that.
Well, Reginald says it's even worse, because the news about it made it to California. Actually, the news about it went worldwide. There were places that I monitor and people I know in the UK who were posting about it in the United Kingdom. And we're talking within an hour or two after all the news things in Orlando. Hey, Gabriella. Nick, yes. The owner of the Segway, according to Mark, did die on a Segway by driving it off a cliff, some accidentally.
You see 13's thing?
Yeah, I was going to read it real quick. Devil's advocate, what if at each section of a drive-through haunt, you would drive up to a parking area, turn off the car, turn on your radio, and a haunt scenario takes place in front of you. Well, in front of you, sync with the radio along with 10 other cars at a time. Yes, that would be cool. You might as well just have a drive-in theater, though, and just have a complete show. And I'll tell you why. It's actually easier to keep the cars in a conga line than having them park, because then you have to coordinate them, doing a dance to start back up again, and a dance to stop, and a dance to park, and you would actually you are actually safer just having them in a conga line.
Hey, numbskull.
Because I thought about that. I do think the idea of having your radio tuned to a blank station that they're broadcasting stuff while you do it is awesome.
I love the idea of that. Everybody parks like a haunted theater. So you say you're watching a movie, right? A drive-in movie. Everybody's parked, and then they run through. Yeah, I love that. Love that idea. But that's not a drive-through either.
Right. yeah, I mean, I- yeah, but like James said, if you want to do something like that, have a big drive-in theater, uh, and have the actors come to you. Turn your car off, leave it there for 2 hours. You can get out, get concessions with your mask on, um, and have them run to you. Um, but scaring people in a moving vehicle, I just don't know. And like I said, 13, what you had talked about is it sounds good talking, but in practice, it's still a nightmare. Brian, we are not assholes. Like I said, we're not being mean. We're just telling it like it is.
Realist.
Uh, yeah, and see that's a now of course I would fully expect you, Moto, to be jumping on top of the cars. I would be very upset if you didn't. But there again, like I said, you're going to get the overzealous. Not saying you're overzealous, Moto. That was makes you awesome. You're going to get the folks that say they're going to be told, don't hit, jump on, scratch the cars, and you're going to have like you would any other haunt. People that don't listen, they're going to jump on, dent, scratch, break glass, blah 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 blah, because they don't listen. Yeah, 13. The logistics, the logistics of running a simple outdoor walkthrough haunt can get mind blowing. Ask Moto. You could ask me, but that's a whole other story. Um, I have the legit. Oh, that's James. You'll notice I didn't give you a list. I'll tell you why. the list we're going to have tonight. I meant to say that before we got on air. Let's see. Reginald says, "What about a Rocky Horror Picture Show type thing where it's a drive-in and they're showing scary movies as an actor?" Hell yeah, that's exactly. I would hell yeah, I would go to that in a heartbeat. I would park my car, bring my own snacky poos, and let them just time warp all over around me. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it 3 times in a row. Yeah, Mark, you need to come to Jay, Florida.
I'm kind of digging the whole haunted drive-in vibe where people pop up randomly. Why doesn't somebody do this? Let's get on the ball with that. That's a realistic idea. But even then, you're gonna have, not this year. It still wouldn't happen this year, I'm sure, because you're still gonna have people with their own vehicles, which, again, like you said, permits.
I'll tell you what. If I lived where you were at, I would be totally suggesting this to the Mahonig.
Oh yeah, yep.
By the way, Mark, Moto now wants to drive to Jay, Florida, so you can crash through his sunroof, because he would be upset. Never said I wouldn't duke you on a sunroof. God.
Handstand shirts.
I don't think Moto knows what a white knight is, Brian, but we can explain it to him. You crank my tractor. That's great. Clowns in their porn. By the way, didn't Jabby come in? Is he gone already?
He said he was watching a game or playing a game or himself. I don't know.
Yeah, so thank God you said it, because I would have said it worse. But so that's the big thing of the evening is the haunted road. There are so many incredible variables. I mean, so many. And then, the other big thing about this is the person who is running it or is doing it has absolutely zero haunted attraction experience. I won't name what they did in Orlando on International Drive. You could look it up. It's pretty easy. Not going to mention their name. I'll have a little bit of modicum of respect for that. But they did some sort of dance bar. And I'm not saying like a twirly dance bar. So that was terrible. It was an artistic, well, that even sounds like a twirly dance bar. It was a nouveau clubby dancey thing. They did for a few years, and they have no experience in doing a haunted attraction. The other thing I don't like is that they were saying it, telling all these news agencies that they've got, I guess, theme park professionals and industry professionals. No, you don't. You don't. Don't even lie. Now that I'll call them out on, because they would have already named them. I've actually saw, and this is for you too, James. I watched some of the comments on their main post today, where some of these people who would know for sure who the other people would be or would be those people said, we know nothing about this. We don't know anybody who's doing this, and they would have no reason to lie. They'd say it right up front, like, oh, you know, John Smith is doing it, blah, blah, blah. So there's nobody doing this. They Tyler asked, where's this haunted drive-thru at? All we know of is it's in Orlando. There's no specific, they have not announced exactly where this at. It looks like it's going to be a path through the woods somewhere in Orlando. I didn't know there was woods in Orlando, but I guess there is.
Well,
yeah. Now, a stick shift going through that. I actually could see, Brian, I could see you doing it because you're probably good manual. I know that Mark could do it. Mark would probably end up trying to drift it. I know some people who would try to drift it. There you go. Mark's the professional. You know, the one who thinks that internal combustion engines are nothing but air driven.
Air compressors.
Air compressors. Oh, yeah, Moto. Moto says, I could literally pull together several managers and owners across the industry who would all sing this idea blankety blows. I'm amazed I could censor myself because normally I would say it to the tune of Happy Birthday in unison. Oh, hell yeah. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a ton of them already doing that. So yeah, no. There's nobody in their right mind. Everybody would say, oh, it's a cute idea, but the logistics, especially trying to pull it off within a few months, it's impossible.
Literally, the only people that have jumped on the idea are the people that are sad Halloween Horror Nights got canceled. It's like their little thing to hold on to because they think Halloween Horror Nights is the only thing that makes Halloween.
Yeah. And we are ragging them at this point. We're ragging.
What can you do? Whatever.
We're not being nice.
I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I really am.
I mean, once again, the disclaimer is we hate that HHN canceled. We hate that Mickey's Not So Scary. It puts people out of a job. There's people that literally seasonal people that live for it to work it. And they are legitimately, it is like their only to them, it's a vacation. But the people who all they do is go to it, and all they do is get a frequent fear pass for the buffet every night, and they're the ones that end up filling it up, where it reeks for everybody else, where it devalues the whole event. That's the people. Danny is like so rude. I know we're not bragging on Mark, because we love Mark, but he is a white knight. But it's those people who literally think there's nothing else on the planet except Halloween Horror Nights because they live in Orlando. They pay $100 for a ticket. And they go every night and clog up the whole system for people that would like to go in there and not have to. Oh my God! What?
I love that. So good.
Which one?
Moto said maybe I'll just open up my own drive-through haunt with the used car lot on property. No clue where the hell the drivers went. Want to buy a Civic?
See, and you've got the property to do it too. That's the funny part. I would totally, you know what? I would break my quarantine to go one night just to sit on the sidelines to watch you sell cars during the haunt. Call it the ghost haunted road. They celebrate all Moto's Eve here at Hill House. Which street do ghosts haunt? Tyler, I'm not sure what you mean, buddy. Elaborate on that.
It's a joke.
Statement.
He's working on it. Hold on. We're waiting for the punchline.
For Tyler?
Yeah. He said I got a joke, and then that was the next thing he said. So I'm assuming this is the start of his joke.
Oh, which street do ghosts haunt? No question mark. I'm going to say my street because there's a lot of people. Not sure, Tyler. Which street do ghosts haunt? Um, well, that's true. That's true. You did sell a bug last year. But wasn't that more like a raffle? It was a cute little bug.
Dead ends. I wish I had that queued up. Damn it! I need to get better at this. I have 1,000 sound effects and I never use any of them.
Nice joke, Tyler. That's an oldie but a goodie. Um. So yeah. So it sounds like from all of y'all that y'all also some great ideas to try and make this work. Or like I said, that's why y'all are so awesome. It sounds like that most of y'all think this is well, all of y'all seem to think it's a really bad idea. I thought it was a raffle thing. It did get sold though. I'm just checking on my oldness, making sure my oldness wasn't kicking in. How do ghost tours work because you are riding in their vehicles? Interestingly enough, a lot of those have shut down. A side note, interesting thing. There is a ghost tour here in Pensacola, and they have changed their vehicle. They're still doing it. I'm sure they're literally sanitizing the hell out of them, but the vehicle is different. They go down. This is what's so funny. There's a house, a couple of houses down from me, and they're on the ghost tour. I should put my house on the ghost tour. Their house isn't haunted. This one is. Um, but I'm sure that you have to wear a mask, and I'm sure they sanitize the hell out of the vehicle. Um, but most of the ghost tours, they have maybe two or three vehicles, maybe a few more. Something like this haunted road, they'd have to have a fleet of these things, and it would just be so incredibly expensive. Um, Anybody that doesn't know what Moto's joke means about what he usually sells on Cervantes, that is like our red light district.
I know a St. Augustine tour that's a walking ghost tour.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Just saying.
We have a few of those here. Um, let's see. Savannah, Georgia, and St. Augustine both have trams. Yes.
I did the tram ghost tour like 15 years ago, I think.
Brian, when you say a liability, do you mean liability for having the little mini
For their
bus
vehicle, I
ghost?
think. Like
Uh,
insurance wise, right? For their vehicles.
are you talking about for the ghost tours or the haunted?
I think the ghost tour.
Oh, well, they their liability is, of course, they have a oh crap, what's a business license you would have on a business vehicle, whatever the hell that's called. I'm almost positive that the people that go on the tours now have to sign a waiver, and like I said, they clean the vehicles and they have to wear masks. So the liability would basically be if you go on, like everybody else is doing. If you use our services, you're liable. We're not liable if you get sick. All it seems like a bunch of haunts that are doing that now. Um, Haunt ATM. You say that, Moto, but I've seen your ATM at that place, and being it's in the middle of nowhere, I think you could say that you have the most remote cash machine on the planet when you all open up. Yeah, there you go. Do an underwater haunted attraction. Yes and yes. Okay. So, Brian, did that answer your question, by the way? The liability would be like they would have regular business liability insurance on a business vehicle, and most likely they just have you sign a waiver. Which to me, you could do on a hayride too. I mean, if it's a pain in the tush, but if you wanted to do a hayride, you could just basically say, look, you might be put with a group of people that you don't know. We can only fit half the amount of people on the hayride. You all have to wear masks. Sign this waiver saying that we've done everything we can. to keep you safe. Yeah, Brian, totally. That's why it's why it's such a pain in the butt. The liability insurance and everything else would be just well, that's because Moto, your ATM doesn't work because you're way out in the middle of hell. You've got no you've got no cell service. Um oh no oh you wouldn't do a haunt underwater? Oh, I think we've talked about this actually with Brian. Um if I can't spend $16 for a water drink, I'm not going. And see that's interesting actually. That uh if you do a haunted road where you drive through, one, um, you wouldn't be able to make extra money on concessions or anything else because you can't. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, have a place to park all these cars and have them get out? And it just the whole thing is just so ill conceived. Um, you could sell souvenirs, but you do it through the website. You wouldn't want to have a place for people to drive up to get a shirt because that would just clog everything up.
T-shirt cannon. Just tap your ATM card on the machine as you go by, and it launches a shirt in your car as you drive by.
Yeah, no kidding. Here's your burger.
No packaging; it just flies apart as it's coming at your face, 900 miles an hour.
French fries all over your damn windshield.
That sounds as put together as this whole idea is, honestly.
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I'm laughing at. So what'd you say? I totally didn't. I missed what you said.
Oh, I said it sounds as put together as the whole rest of the idea. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, that's why I was like. I actually, it's so funny. It said most. It looks like I'm charging for drinks from the hose this year, nickel and dime. And I would actually now that I would set up something like an actual spigot, like a spigot, like an actual spigot, and maybe it pours out Coca-Cola or something. People are like, what in the hell am I paying for?
Give them some bullshit backstory about how it comes from a well that had haunted some shit. I don't know. $6. You get 7 seconds to drink out of the hose.
Step right up to get a fill of your spooky Dr. Pepper. Yeah, Brian said, I'll take a number 3. Yeah, catch a driver in jaw with a shirt. No kidding.
Here come the hot grease fries through the window.
Mark, I think if you could catch the shirt with your teeth, you should get it for free. Brian, I agree. They're living in a dream world. It boils down to they wanted to rush into trying to be the first of whatever to do something, just like Fear Factory SLC. It's the same mentality. Rush into something just because you think you can do it doesn't mean you should. Tyler, who hasn't tried pizza rolls in a fryer?
Little crunchy lava bombs.
That's the preferred method. Now I do mine on a pizzazz or a toaster oven. Let's see. Danny says Minnesota State Fair is obviously canceled this year. Instead, they are having a drive-through fair food vendor event. I don't see how that works either, but that's just me. Well, now 13 says a haunted drive-through corn maze would be cool.
You get lost in the maze. You're like, I don't know what to do. Just drive through them.
Yeah, and it just becomes a scene from Twister where you're just driving straight through it and knocking them all down, screaming for Dorothy. I like corn mazes.
I love them.
I don't think I would do a drive-through just because of what I just said. I get plowed down by a red truck, people trying to catch a damn tornado. Once again, where's Ashton? I do like corn maze. I like the smell of them. I like the smell of a corn maze.
Yeah, they got the publicity, man. I think they got in way over their head with the publicity that they got, but yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for giving them so much shit right now, but at the same time, I don't.
I don't. I mean, once again, it's not like Rager Wednesday. These are all things that literally they should have thought of before they opened their mouth. But they didn't. They went in complete reverse and got all the publicity for something they have no idea how they're going to do it. They think they know they're going to how to do it, and they're going to get shut down. It's yeah. They literally jumped the gun so many steps ahead that they have ruined their ability to do this again. They've ruined their ability to actually do this, try to do this the right way. Yeah, don't cry wolf. Excuse me. But yeah, they just did this absolutely back asswards. But now you got to live with it. You either eat crow or lose their shirts. Because I also guarantee you. What?
Numbskull said that Moto should set up a $1 kissing booth. I said, yeah, that's a great idea. I'd pay $10 for him to not kiss me. He said, sold.
I'll pay 20. I'll just hide. So the other question too, of course, this is ultra far fetched, and this is directed square at Mark. If the haunted road actually opens and they're able to do it, are you going to do a pandemic adventure through the haunted road? Well, no, it wouldn't be the cheapest haunt, Mark, because I'm telling you, they're going to, if they do this where they're supposed to, the whole thing is going to be outrageously expensive.
What does he mean, cheapest for customers or cheapest for them? Because it's certainly not cheapest for customers. It's $15 a person, not a car.
Yeah. Which, I mean, but I will guarantee you that as far as a haunt to be built and run the proper way, it will be expensive.
If it opens, I'm gonna go. I mean, if it opens and they can do it, great, whatever. Then we're wrong. But we've seen how many times that's happened this year, so.
Yes.
Yeah, they said it was $15 per person, so. I mean, what are you driving through though? Is it just going to be woods? There's nobody there, so they don't have any kind. It's just you just drive through the woods at night, make up your own shit. Here's some stickers to put on the window.
Yeah, and then if you don't want to be scared, just
don't put the stickers up.
Just put your hazards on. I'm just going through. Please don't scare me.
So it's like those little cling things you put on your windows at home for holidays and crap. They just give you different ones to stick on the window for each scene.
Oh, that's what you have. Yeah, there you go. Everyone to Dollar Tree. Watch Keith's video. There's plenty of things at Dollar Tree. Just
yeah, if you haven't seen Keith's video that he posted on in our After Dark group, you should watch it. He's got a super amount of energy in the video. It's pretty funny. And there's actually, I really dig that light thing that he had, the little basket that he said you could just drill a hole in and make a lampshade out of. It really looked like a cool lampshade.
Guess who's got a few of those? Yeah, they've had those for multiple years. They are very cool, and they're actually really sturdy too. They're not flimsy for a web bowl.
Brian, that's a brilliant point too. Some asshole behind you in the haunt has their brights on the whole time. Jesus. Yep. Things that would drive me insane.
Well, I would say, I mean, here's the logistics. If if I were like asked to do something like this and I said yes, which I wouldn't, one of the big things is I would not allow the headlights to be on. Running lights, yes. Headlights, no.
I think if
And
if you did
you
Jersey
would
barriers and you laid out the whole thing, I mean, you would have $1 billion in Jersey barriers. To I guess you could do hay, but that doesn't. I'm thinking from like a safety standpoint for the actors. Just have it so, and then you have to rely on people to drive through the Jersey barriers without hitting them, and that's never going to happen. This whole thing is just no.
it's a mess. You would literally have to. You would. I mean, I just don't even. There are thousands of points that have to be addressed. There's no way in 2 levels of hell they could address all those points correctly in a matter of a few months and actually build it and get all their people and all that. There's just no way. Somebody with their left blinker on. Bye, Numbskull. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for participating. There's just no way, and I know they have not been planning this for months. They literally just somebody like drinking at a table or something in their living room and said, you know what, I like that idea. Let's see if we can do that. And that's literally what happened like a few weeks ago. And haunt is life. Yes. I'm reading things that I won't read back. Eat the treats. So that was the big thing. That's why tonight's episode was called Dead End Roads Edition. Because it's already dead in the water. Once again, Brian, a huge lifted. That's another thing. The size of the vehicle. I mean, honestly, are they going to limit the kind of vehicle? It's just, I mean, what happens if somebody does come in a lifted truck that's legal on the road, but you get it in a haunted attraction, and maybe they're like, oh, that's not going to fit through some of the low hanging stuff that we had, or we can't scare you because you're higher than everything. And then that person goes like, well, that's discrimination, or whatever the hell they're going to say. I don't know. It's just the whole thing. It's just no. There's no way they could jack themselves up on caffeine 24/7 from the time they announced it to the time they tried to open, and there's no way they'd have, even if they stayed awake 24/7, there's no way they could get this done.
And you get some asshole kid driving his dad's jacked up diesel truck, just blowing smoke in everybody's faces, because that's going to happen.
Yes, now that's called coaling.
Rolling coal.
Rolling coal. Yeah, and there's the other thing too is, I mean, even though it's outside, you just cannot have your actors be constantly next to operating vehicles for hours on end, because there is exhaust. It does linger. It does linger. It's just so you're gonna have people passing out. The whole damn it's insane. It's a ridiculous idea.
Some jackhole with a modified exhaust system just ripping through there, revving at freaking 7,000 RPMs for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and of course, there's the other thing. I mean, there are some vehicles that make more noise than others. What if you have? And this is not, once again, this is not ripping anybody's vehicle. I don't know what any of you people drive except Mark. But you have every kind of vehicle on the road. You have the ones that need a new belt that squeal enormously. and that will take away from the ambience for whatever. Or they have loud exhausts, or they've just been modified. They have a glass pack. Um,
Motorcycles. See, 13. They let motorcycles in?
uh, exactly. I mean, are they going to be discriminatory to your vehicle? Um,
Tim, watch me
Liquid
fish tail.
ass. Yeah, see, Tyler, what? Yeah, get some Froggy's Fog scent and put it in your vehicle and choke everybody out. Hey Tim, watch me fishtail. Um, see, Danny, I'm not making fun of anybody's vehicle. I'm just saying, you've got the ones that knock. You've got the ones that just inherently are noisier. You've got um, what you've got like the electric vehicles that are completely quiet. And maybe an actor is kind of waiting out for a kind of a low engine noise, and there isn't one.
And then people smoking in their vehicles because it's their personal property.
And Mark, there you go. How much fluid leak is acceptable leakage? I know it was laughed at, but I mean, right. What if you have people that are going through with slight oil leaks, and now all of a sudden you've got a trail of oil going down that one of your actors can slip and break their neck on?
Plus,
Holy crap.
environmental issues because you're going to have
Right.
vehicles leaking.
Right. What if this place that they're gonna do this at would not typically have vehicles? What if it's going through a wooded path that's designed for people that just happens to be wide enough? It's eh, it the whole thing is insane. The whole thing's insane. Um, and like I said, once again, we're not bashing them per se, but we are just basically
It's the idea
taking our
and the logistics behind it. I think we're
yeah.
we're playing devil's advocate against it because everybody is so for it. No one's taking the time to think about all these things that anybody that's been in the actual, because to me it seems like none of these people have ever done anything in the haunted industry, which I know we've looked for and we haven't seen anything unless there's some hidden investor or something. But these are things that it seems like nobody is actually questioning. So that's kind of what we're doing. I know it seems really, really negative, but it kind of has to be.
Well, and believe it or not, any business, but we'll just stay with haunted attractions. Any type of haunted attraction of any sort, every one of them, a professional team sits down and thinks of all of these things. They think of all the negatives. So it's not like this is something unusual that we're doing just for this particular one. It's just this particular one has an enormous amount of obstacles. If you're going to have a haunted attraction and make it 100% ADA compliant, you will have people that they'll go, okay, well, show us what you got. Nope, that's not going to work because it's this, that, and the other, or fire marshal like that. So there are people, and it's usually the same people that design it. They'll go into bash mode, quote unquote, with themselves, and they'll think, okay, well, we have this outdoor attraction. Da, da, da. Okay, well, once again, what if somebody has a medical emergency over there at the haunt, and it's way the hell over there? And you're like, well, we'll just put slits through, and we'll have magic doorways that nobody knows about. We can get them out, or get a team in, or whatever. So this happens with any business, but haunted attractions, if you have a good team, they don't just sit there and go like, we're going to make magic and people are going to show up. And the hell with everything. We don't care if everything in this place is combustible. Now, the same team usually is, and sometimes not, are the ones that will go through and go like, well, let's sit here for a few hours and let's discuss all the things we can't do, or all the negative things, or all the bad things, or things we have to change. So it's not unusual. It's just this really has, the only good thing about this is it sounds like it would be fun, but that's it. There's nothing else about it that's logistically possible.
And the people that I've seen that are attached to it, they all have their own good qualities. But I don't know that they lend themselves to being expertise in the haunt, especially in a drive-through haunt.
Well, are you talking about the haunted road?
Yeah.
there's only one person that I can give a name. That's it. There are no. I don't. Who are these other people?
I don't know the other ones either. But
See, there you go.
I was just being nice.
um, I on that one I can't. I only know of one named person. That's it, and they have no experience in haunted attractions, and that is no joke. I'm not even being mean. They have no experience in it. And all these other magical people, they say there is no magical people. This is her, her and some friends that decided they're going to do it. It's going to be a disaster. It's not going to be a disaster because it ain't going to happen. They're going to lose their asses on it before it's even open.
I do find it interesting that there was initially a Kickstarter, and now they've removed the Kickstarter from their page. And that was after like I brought up on their page. This isn't just something that like we've talked about to ourselves. I've literally approached them and asked them about this, and the only response I got was miracles are real. So,
and you know what's interesting, James, and I meant to say this. I think that the responses they're giving are bot responses because you can actually get Facebook bots that will do response. Because if you look at all the responses, they're extremely canned.
Yeah,
I don't even think it was a real person. And some of the other responses made 0 sense. They made 0 sense. So I think even the responses are canned. And of course, Mark, completely thanks, Mark. I didn't think about that. It's going to be a dirt road if it's through the woods. And of course, Florida just rains all the time now. So
once an afternoon.
Yeah. So good luck getting your, would you say your Kia, your 2008 Kia, Sportages. I don't know cars. I don't know what the hell that is. I know they said a Kia. So yeah, what are they going to do there? I mean, is that when truck night can happen?
Yeah. So it's going to be, it's either Florida's going to go one of two ways. It's going to rain every day, or it's not going to rain for a month, and it's going to be a literal fire hazard in the woods. And you know somebody's going to be smoking in their car, and they're going to throw a cigarette out in the woods.
Oh, see, there's another one. All of y'all just keep flinging these things out, which is awesome. They didn't think about that. It's just, oh my God, the amount of variables are just. I hope they don't set Central Florida on fire with this stupid ass thing. Of course, it's not going to happen, so it doesn't matter.
No, we've got the car wars going on.
That's fine. We'll just talk amongst ourselves. I'm kidding. Now we'll definitely keep everybody apprised on what's going down with this. During the live chats, as we know stuff. We won't. I don't think we'll devote a whole episode like we did tonight because this is pretty much tells everything that our views on it. But if we hear something news breaking, we'll make it like a minute or two before we start a regular chat and let you know. It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, Mark. Excuse me. I do not mean to be yawning. I've had one of my laziest days yet, and it's just making me tired. But y'all all keep me going. So anyway, that was tonight's deal. I mean, I think that if we literally talked about it for another hour, another 100 things would come up that people could think of. And like James said, that Kickstarter thing is that just no. And now that it's missing, and then James looked to see if he went to Kickstarter and searched for it, it's not there either. So it's not like they just took the link down. They've either unpublished the Kickstarter or it's gone. Maybe hell, with James asking about it, they realized it was really a stupid idea and they need to get backers. Danny, let us know when you find out about your corn maze. Sorry. Oh, they're still talking about Fords and Kias. That's cool. But other than that, that's literally that was it in a nutshell.
I kind of wish we had written down this list because I feel like it'd be really long right now. really,
it'd be
really long.
enormous. I think we could still type it out from memory, and of course we could go back to chat, but it'd be the like I said, if
I think we
it
can
was a group,
focus on environmental, safety, and permitting are going to be the three things that 100% make this not feasible in the next 2 months.
oh yeah, and I will stick with, like, if nothing else, my top pick for a no go is the fire marshal. If of all the bazillion other reasons we just came out with, I'm going to say fire marshal on this one, because the fire marshal would normally be a little bit more lenient with an outdoor uncovered haunt, but now you've got internal combustion engines, Mark, going through the woods. So I'll keep mine. Fire marshal will be number one.
Fire marshal and insurance, and then I think environmental.
Yeah, I mean, environmental, of course, really is the most important of all of it, because they don't want to jack anything up. But Mark says, does it even get as far as the fire marshal?
I don't think so.
No. The fire marshal actually, on a haunted attraction, if you get past everything else, if you get your permits, if you get your game plan, if you tell them, like, oh, we'll make sure nobody smokes, if all these other things, oh, we've got a contingency for breakdowns, oh, we got a contingency for medical emergencies. They've thought of everything under the sun. If the fire marshal comes in there, the fire marshal can come in there an hour before they open on their first night. And if the fire marshal says a no, then that's it. It doesn't matter if, the Pope has given you permission or whatever you want to. If the fire marshal says no, then he means no. I have seen that happen multiple times. I've seen it happen multiple times here in my city. I've seen it happen around the United States. Yes. So the fire marshal that's it. If the fire marshal says no, you don't, as an owner of something, you don't go, I'm going to go to the mayor. The fire marshal will basically say, good luck.
And then you got to think about the fact that you've got hot ass catalytic converters potentially driving through grass that, who knows? I mean, they're going to have to keep that whole area completely torn down, because it's super easy for a vehicle to catch fire off road, a low vehicle. There's too many things, I think.
Tyler, if you're headed out, man, thank you so much for coming. We're probably winding it down pretty soon anyway, so you won't miss too much. But
yeah, I think we're done.
Thanks for the pictures. We'll still get a hold of you about the questions that you had. We have not forgotten you. I haven't forgotten you. You're going to stay. Oh, well, you can stay the few extra minutes that we're going to be here. This is why test pipe lives matter. What? I don't even know what the hell that means. Mark,
I'm assuming it's something to do with exhaust system.
Okay. I don't know. Test pipes. Okay. Lost your mind, Mark. So anyway, yeah. That long story short about the fire marshal. Fire marshal supersedes anybody.
Yep.
Pipe lives matter. I don't know, Tyler. You're gonna have to ask Mark about that one. I don't even know. But yeah, I think once again, between all of y'all, we got a lot of awesome input, more so than I was thinking about for this haunted road thing. And it just solidifies the fact I don't personally think it's even going to get off the ground. So that was the big thing for the evening. And of course, all y'all's wonderful. James knows these things. Well, okay. And I have no idea what Danny's talking about, so that's good. About train wrecks and stuff.
I knew you were a firefighter. I was aware. And you obviously know this information then, and how dangerous it is to have vehicles off road,
Yes,
especially in a dry
that's right,
environment.
Tyler. That's right. I remember you saying that. Yeah. So, yeah. Um, and now this is just saying, because I've dealt with this. Firefighters, awesome possum. Once again, thank you so much, Tyler, for what you do. But a fire marshal, of course, supersedes a firefighter. A firefighter may say, "No, this will be fine." Fire marshal, like, no, it's not. I'm just saying, fire marshals literally just the power a fire marshal has for stuff like this and other things is just, it's absolute. So they're not going to do any of this the right way. It doesn't matter.
We could seriously be overthinking this too, and they could just have it happen. Who knows? I mean, weird stuff has happened.
That's the thing. I mean, they may be able to get away with all the things that we're talking about, but I guarantee you that even if they're able to, that's one of the scenarios. Even if they're able to open, they won't last long. There's going to be an accident. There will be an accident that shuts them down, and that is, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So, 13, thanks, man. Good night.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, 13. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
as always.
Remember, always blame Lee for hurricanes in Florida. You'll finally meet her someday. But thanks, 13. We're probably going to be off in a few minutes ourselves, so you won't miss much either.
I mean, we're not really overthinking it. We're thinking logically about it, but at the same time, weirder stuff has happened. There's been weirder things that have happened that have been like this. There's no way this should happen, and then poof, magically it happens. And then something happens, and you're like, hey, that shouldn't have happened.
Kind of like prematurely opening up a haunt during a pandemic.
And then writing a 60-page manual about it.
Yes. Now, why am I seeing the two words jockstrap on my chat here?
Not only jockstrap, but Haunters Anonymous jockstrap.
Oh, okay. Well, those two words make it better. If it's a Haunters Anon jockstrap, then I say we all get them. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and start winding it down, because I mean, I think we've just covered I think we should be paid by the Haunted Road for coming up with all the reasons why they shouldn't and aren't going to open. I think we should
write a 60-page manual about it. We're done.
We should write it.
That's how we end.
We could write a 360-page manual, and then send them a bill.
What is valued at $2,000?
Tyler, thank you so much. We'll see you Sunday. If you can make it Friday, please do. That's our
trivia night.
Yeah, so if you can make it Friday, we'd love to have you. If not, we'll definitely see you Sunday, kiddo. Thank you again. Yeah. Yes, Mark, that was a WTF moment with a haunted house book. I know somebody that has a book that I actually have, and it's a fan, and it's like that, but it's not that pretentious. It's just a really good book. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll wind it down so that Danny can gather her white claws for the impending storm. Danny, I just gotta make fun of you one good time. I'm gonna say hoot. I'm gonna make a hoot. Oh, you're working Friday night. All right. Well, don't forget. You can always listen to it after the fact. These are archived in multiple ways. So we will definitely see you Sunday. But yeah, we'll go ahead, wind it down, because amazingly enough, we are at an hour and 50 minutes because you guys and gals are awesome possum. We will, the event page for Friday is already up. Thank goodness. So I don't have to do that now. But thank you all so much for another fantastic live chat with all your insights and keeping James and I awake because y'all are so awesome. Keeping me awake because I'm getting old. But yeah, thank y'all so much. We'll see you Friday. I'm going to pass it over to James.
Yep. Same thing he said. That's all I got. No, seriously.
You're not going to get blasted by the storm, Danny. My goodness. You'll be all right.
I forgot. I wasn't supposed to talk this stream. I was supposed to just sit here silently.
That's right, Danny. So now you can scold James for actually talking.
I screwed that up. I'm sorry.
See you later, Tyler. Have a good one, kids. Stay safe.
See you, man.
But anyway, yeah. We'll let you all go because we're gonna go. Thank you so much. Be excellent to each other. Wear your masks. Save Halloween. And take it easy, everybody.
Yep. Have a good one. Eat those treats, and we will see you on Friday.
Ciao.